We have unexpectedly hit a roadblock in our Bleach journey. It's minor, but I realized I was in a Bleach reading slump, meaning every time I wanted to read Bleach, I couldn't. And the crazy thing is, we ended on a moment that I loved so much before I really hit this wall. But it is far from over. I will finish this series, but I'm going to do it by switching to the anime. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I've actually already started. This could be a wonderful idea or terrible, but I've started a few episodes and I'm pretty happy with it. And we're going to talk about that in this video, along with just Bleach updates in general. This video may seem very random, but I got a notification that somebody liked a comment that I wrote a month ago saying how I'm going to be consistent. And now I feel like I owe you all an update because it doesn't seem like that right now, but I am in my consistent era. We're just tweaking some things. There will be spoilers in here, by the way, not too many, but spoilers nonetheless. So here's a spoiler warning. Let's unpack how I got into my Bleach slump. Once upon a time, okay, we won't do all of that, but I was really loving and enjoying the Arrancar arc when we first started it. The crazy and most ridiculous thing about this situation is that I think I stopped around chapter 363 or 366, one of the 60s, and we were at the peak, the precipice of a lot of the action about to happen. So many cool moments just completed or were about to start, and all of a sudden, I couldn't pick it up. I got to see Ukiura and Ichigo fight, and it was really beautiful and sad and strange. Shinji popped out with a visor, and it was the coolest moment ever just to see the group still doing their thing despite everything and all the tragedy that's happened to them. I love them, by the way. I love the visor. I love Shinji. It's great. There's so many good things. So I think what really messed me up in the beginning of this section, again, chapters 316 to like 366, my expectations were completely different than what I was reading. And it wasn't bad by any means, but there are at this point so many characters. I used to kind of have to force myself to like all the characters being introduced in Bleach, but then I realized that's a part of the story, and so many characters have an impact on the story, whether it's just a belief they may have or how they connect to another character or what they bring out of another character. It makes Bleach special, and I like it to an extent, but with this particular fight, I really wanted to start with somebody that I'm used to. The majority of the beginning of this fight, and it was a long beginning, had to do with a lot of the lieutenants and some of the captains. I was not prepared for the amount of time that was going to be given to these characters, and I know that it makes sense that we have to see a little bit of everybody fighting because there's levels to this. There's levels to who we fight to get to Aizen in the end. You know, this isn't a video game fight, Amber. This is an actual battle that will be very destructive if they lose, so it's going to take time and it's going to take strategy, and everybody has to fight and be a part of it. But listen to me, I haven't seen Khan and I don't know how long. I want to see Ichigo's dad. I want to see Ichigo. I want to see Byakuya. What drew me into Bleach were a lot of the characters that we don't even see anymore. So to put so much attention on a lot of characters that some of them I didn't even know, like the Arrancars that we had to fight, and that was cool because we got to see the higher ranked Arrancars fight and see how that plays out, and then fight our captains. Like all of that was cool, but how can I focus on all these people when I need to see what's going on with the people that I started this story off with, and I want to see what they're doing. And luckily, I really do like Ikaku, and I liked seeing all of these people show us their different strengths and how strong all of them are and how purposeful all of their characters are to this storyline. But it doesn't change the fact that, I don't know, I think it would have been better if we would have gotten more of Ichigo and less of them, but still had their impact. Does that make sense? And we do get to Ichigo, it's just way later. Now, don't get me wrong, there were some really cool moments and crazy moments throughout this, like Bragan, the Death King person. Those abilities are some of the creepiest and coolest abilities that I've seen in this story. Soifon killed it. The commander coming out at one point and just taking out a lot of those Arrancars. He's so strong, and I am really starting to like him so much more. They deserve some attention and credit and props. I just felt a bit depleted though after reading and seeing all these characters come and fight. A lot of them I never met before. As much as I love storylines and great storylines, I'm starting to believe that I am a big character driven person. I think everything about Bleach and this world and Ichigo's role in it all is so cool. But I fell in love with the story because of the characters and how the storyline affects the characters. I would probably still think it dragged on regardless, but I do think that I'm realizing that I love the core characters that we met and a few other people that we met along the way. And that's who keeps my attention. In the end, I felt like I was forcing myself to read it as opposed to really enjoying it. And I don't ever want to lose the love that I have for Bleach, which is why the anime comes into play. I definitely needed to switch it up. Now, I do know that some people recommend that you stick with the manga until you get to the, what's it called, the Thousand Year Blood War. And typically that is what I would do, but I need a switch. I think the music and the atmosphere that the animated series creates is already helping and will help. Since I am realizing how much I enjoy characters, having the music to highlight what a character is going through, the added elements that the animation brings to the story will help me with the characters that I'm not super connected to, because it's going to let me see them in a different light that can help me feel more connected to them as they're fighting, as opposed to me just reading and trying to create an energy and a vibe and an atmosphere that I don't really have in me right now. Which, speaking of, my thoughts on the anime so far is that I am happy with this decision. I've just gotten started. I'm going back from chapter 316 to 360 whatever and watching the anime from there, because I don't want to have read it just to read it and I didn't really take in the story. I feel like I was definitely rushing through it and I don't want to miss out on great moments and ways that I can appreciate all of these characters more. I can also say that this was my first time hearing the voice actors, hearing the theme song, at least a theme song for this particular arc, seeing how the characters are animated. And that in and of itself is fun, because this is all new to me and fresh and something I've never got to see because I've read it the whole time. And Bleach's music so far is pretty cool. I will say that it is funny because there are so many pauses, right? Like you'll have a character talk and then there's this moment. So I can see how it could drag, but honestly, I'm kind of loving it. Again, it creates a mood, a different kind of mood than I've got to experience so far. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's going to turn out to be pretty enjoyable. I'm also starting to rethink how I binge manga series. I started by binging One Piece, and then I did it with multiple series, from Jujutsu Kaisen to Hunter x Hunter. Those videos are in the vault, and I've realized I have this urge to get done or catch up, and I think that really messes up my enjoyment. And I don't know why I'm even doing that. Nobody is asking me to do that, but here I am doing it. I think too, because I like to review these stories and talk about them, I'm like, I have to read all of this right now and then talk about it. I also think binging and then reviewing what I just binged has been a tricky line to walk. I love discussing these stories, but I don't know if the format that I have been doing is necessarily how I want to review. Either I need to read it all and then be able to talk about it in different capacities, or I cannot binge as much and then just talk about things as I'm reading it, and things in particular I want to talk about as I'm reading, as opposed to like, I'm going to talk about this arc and yada yada yada. Does that make sense? All that to say, I'm learning to really take my time with these stories and enjoy them instead of binging, 100 chapters in a day and the whole series in a week, because that sounds a bit excessive. Also, I am becoming an anime watcher. Thank you, Black Clover. Black Clover really opened my eyes to how much I've been missing out on by not watching anime. I didn't realize how guilty I feel about that. I think I haven't watched as much anime because I feel that I'm supposed to read the written work first. That's how I've always been with books. That's probably what's been halting my enjoyment, because there are other formats for a reason, and there's a reason people really like anime. And I love music too, and hearing the sounds and the music choices and the artists singing makes the story so much more powerful. And just transition music, right? And sound effects and the colors. I love it all. So I have had to accept it. As much as I love manga and I will still read manga and collect it, I'm really going to give a lot of time to anime and have a good time doing it. Bleach will always be important to me. It really opened my eyes to opening my eyes to a bunch of series that I probably would not have picked up if I wouldn't have gotten into Bleach. I will never give up on Bleach. I just need to rethink think how I'm going to experience it. So that is my Bleach update. And I also have some series I'm really excited to talk about, and one in particular I'll be talking about pretty soon that I have not mentioned on this channel. Can you guess what it is? It's not new. It's not a new series, but that's the only clue I'll give you, which is probably a terrible clue, but that's me. This video has come to an end, but of course I'll see you all in my next video, and not a month from now. Until we meet again, go read or watch or whatever makes you happy. Bye guys.